ta tena tati tagena tagatena gena ta tati tagena tagatena dagena tagatena gena tati tagena tagatena gena ta Just felt like playing a little bit before we get going. Good morning from California. Not sunny, cold, maybe around 51 degrees. And wherever you are, good evening, good afternoon, good night. And it's great to be back with you again. I hope you're all taking care of yourselves, being very watchful, washing hands, covering your face and nose, everything. Just look after. It doesn't matter who's got the virus, and who's near you, who's got the virus, as long as you take all the precautions that are required and are suggested by the medical teams, you should be fine. So keep that in mind and be very vigilant in your approach to sanitization and hygiene. Okay, so here we are. I wonder if there's a question or something to start with.
Sure, let's see.
By the way, I just want to tell you at the helm of this little venture with you is my daughter Anisa Qureshi. Is on the other side of the screen, so you can't really see her, but she's been very helpful, and so it's with deep gratitude that I say that. Thank you, Anisa.
Thanks.
So what we got?
Oh, will you please explain Da Tirikit in different Gharanas?
Da Tirikit in different gharanas. Okay, let's start with the present. So when you start with the present, Da Tirikit has varieties in it which have been now used and practiced by practically all the gharanas. I have to say that because in my opinion, what I've seen, it appears to be true. So when you first start, you're all, at least the way I learned it, so it was Da, Te, so. And so just playing Da, Te, Da, it didn't work because it's a triplet, and in fours, that practice did not work. And also just playing Da, Da, it creates a kind of a hesitant flow, and so it does not give you the smooth, raw feeling. So always da te re ki te taka da te re ki te taka da te re ki te taka. That's what I began with. So da. It seems like a little bit of a contradiction there, because the smoothness should be hampered by the fact that the tak and dha coming after that are all both on the same finger. So it becomes a little bit difficult to figure out why it is that even doing dha te re ki te tak at a faster tempo creates the smoothness that you're looking for, even with this little issue there. So dha te re ki te taka, dha te re ki te taka, as prescribed. But once you start playing faster, the ka, dha te re ki te taka, becomes ga, so that you can very easily transit into dha coming up. So dha te re ki te taka becomes dha te re ki te ta ga. So dha te re ki te ta ga dha, te re ki te ta ga dha, te re ki te ta ga dha. And that may explain this ga and dha with the ga in between there, giving enough time to be able to bring it back. So dha. That way. That ga is like a grace note. So you just barely touch it before hitting the dha. Dha is your main goal. So to achieve a smooth flow, may get you to a certain point, like but it's still kind of hesitant. It's not the smooth flow. So dha tere kita taka then leads to dha tere kita taka tere kita. So that makes it finishing here. Dha tere kita taka tere kita. Then you can do a smooth flip back to dha and with the ga in between, and it makes a more smoother phrase. So you can achieve a more Rela-like, Ra-like feel there. So that is a good combination. So that's one style. Then I noticed that at times, in order to do this therapy as I've been doing and make a more smoother flow out of it for myself, I felt I needed to finish with this. Somehow gave me a more solid base to come back to dha. If I went dha tere kita taka tere kita, then to play dha I had to do a couple of things. Move the middle finger up, make sure it's in the right place, and do that. But if I did dha tere kita taka tere kita, I can already place this in the place where it needs to be for dha. So that makes for economy of movement and easier flow of things. So you can take it up to a decent speed with that. Then comes, of course, the finger tere kita, which makes possible to play beautiful patterns like or da da. So middle, index, key, ring finger. So many of Farukhabad things become easier when you play this, right? So that frees up your fingers to be able to not only do tere kita, but dhina, tere kita, what I call ne, that becomes easier. So then that other Farukhabad qaida that I played a couple of weeks ago, which was this. prospect by playing this terekita. And of course, there are people who play a combination of these two things. So like for instance, dati dagena datrik, dati dagatin agena, to provide a little dynamic into terekita, you can be going coming back from khali. Another combination. So there is a finger fake dedicated possibility there. So sometimes in order to create a more punchy effect, I go datik, datik. So the combination of these two is also available. Sometimes in Delhi, maybe not as much in recent times, but in the like 4 or 5 decades, the two-finger terekita. A little bit of a hindrance when you want to have a smooth terekita vistars going, but it's a challenge to be able to play it. So those three, in my opinions, are there, and you can combine them as and when it is convenient for being able to play combinations of phrases. So like it's a combination. Yeah. Okay. So another little tidbit that I want to tell you about terekita and tete and ti. I was once, I must have told you that Ustad Zakir Hussain used to come and stay at our home every now and then. And I would watch him practice after I came back from school, and he would religiously practice every day, even at the age of like something. It was his routine to do that. So one of the times I remember I went to a concert with him. He was playing a small private gathering, and he was playing dati da, dati gidati nagina dati da, and I don't know, maybe it was his whim at that moment that he said that he wanted to create a difference between ti and tete and terekete. So he didn't want to go because the same as, so the difference does not come through. So this is terekete or tete and ti. So separation, he achieved that separation, I guess on that day and maybe on other days too, I'm not sure. But he did by putting the T on the top edge of the siyahi. So more like a T as opposed to, so then the terekita and the T found their own spots and their own tonal world, and therefore sonically they jumped out at you as two different elements of the composition. So that's another thing to think about, and it can be utilized in dha, dha, ti, dha, ge, dha. And sometimes I used to see my father also use this kind of T when he played the simple kind of like Daga dhati dhagena tina, dhati dhagena tina gena, daga dhati dhagena tina gena, daga dhati dhagena. So tati tagena tagatena gena tagena tagena tagatena tagena tagatena tagena tati tagena tagatena gena gena tati tagena tagatena tagena tagatena tagena tati tagena tagatena gena gena tati tagena tagatena